Hello, people. We are here and live for the last round of the VDRL season here in Season 8. I'm Nezar, bringing you the live coverage today. I'm supposed to be joined by Rocket and H, a new commentator, but it seems they haven't joined the voice call just yet. But no worries, we will go straight into this short qualifying session, which will decide the grid for the last event of the season. Both championships have been wrapped up. Rajic, I'm pretty sure, is the drivers' champion for the 40 billionth time, and I'm pretty sure his team Alpine are the constructors' champions because Kevin, who is in the Ferrari, not Ferrari, why did I say Ferrari? Red Bull, had his teammate as his brother Timo for the most of the season, and he could not live up to the task. Maybe if he had Eden Jones in that second car and listening to team orders, then they could have had a chance. But with the current problems, it seems that Rajic and Alpine's dominance won't be stopped. It's that classic copy and paste article from all of the old F1 games, from F1 2012 through to F1 2014. Can anyone match Vettel? Well, can anyone match Rajic in this interesting encounter? But I mean, it's the last round of the season. There's nothing to play for realistically, just pride. I was supposed to be racing in here, but since we have a lack of available commentators, I've had to step up to the lead role. So yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't race. I did race in the we did a fun event the other week or last week where I drove, and we had a lot of classic drivers from VDRL who maybe don't race anymore. Guys like NL Dillon, guys like I'm trying to think of other guys, and lots of even guys who still race today, like Toto, like Kevin, and I beat guys like Toto and Kevin. I came second, so that proves that I'm just as good, if not better, than all of them. But we are now here. We have 19 drivers in this lobby. We are just getting the first runs in qualifying at the moment. There are some new names on the leaderboard, it seems. Serban is one of them, and another is Emmanuel Tawia. I'm guessing he's a new guy in that V car, but I'm trying to see if there's any other guys. We already know what everyone else says. Dr. Comic in the McLaren. From Finland, I saw in the pre-race lobby. And here's Kevin on his outlap. So, lost at another championship for making even more mistakes than he did last season. Actually, no, I'm not even sure if that's possible. We might have to check that statistic. But we're here at the Abu Dhabi circuit. First of it appeared on the F1 calendar in 2009, and was the second ever Middle Eastern venue to appear on the Formula 1 calendar after Bahrain, and since then has come the Qatar Grand Prix and the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at Jeddah. Obviously, this is one of the only races in history, one of the rare races in history where the Grand Prix name isn't the same as the country that the race is held in. So, like, for example, you have the British Grand Prix. It's not called the Silverstone Grand Prix or the Northamptonshire Grand Prix. It's called the British Grand Prix. If this was called by its actual name, it should be called the United Arab Emirates Grand Prix, but they don't. They call it the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix because it's in one of the 7, I think it's 7 or is it 5 Emirates? Because I know there's Abu Dhabi, Dubai is one of them, and there's 3 other ones that I can't, 3 or 5 others that I can't remember. They're like less popular, but nonetheless, Kevin is on his flying lap here, his first banker lap of the weekend, or well, you don't really have more than one banker lap, really, but you can see him coming down towards the chicane, avoids that curb on the right hand side. Interestingly, I was using that during my race because I looked at Oyano want me a hot lap, and no, it might have been a Brendan Lee hot lap actually, and I managed to I looked at his lines and he was taking all over that curb on the entry to the chicane, but nonetheless coming through the second sector now, just getting everything sorted out, and he's actually just completed it now into the final sector, reprofiled ahead of the championship decider in 2021. Not directly because it was a championship decider, but it was going to be reprofiled anyway. To try and increase overtaking at this circuit, which has been historically hard to overtake on. Despite having 2 long DRS straights, it's been very difficult to make moves. And Kevin sets the fastest lap of the day then so far, the first flying lap of the day, on a 1 minute 22.108. Next cross line will be XG-Man of 23 seconds. Going to have to improve on that time if he wants to do well. And Tiaz Korsnan. So he's the first driver into the 1 minute 21s, just. And it goes, and even Power Twan is going faster than Kevin. So it seems that was a very big banker lap from Kevin there in terms of how much he was actually conserving. Dincho, former Williams driver, has moved into that second Red Bull seat. So it seems that there is a bit of a musical chairs going on in that second Red Bull seat. Where have I seen that before? After a driver underperforms, another driver comes in and does a decent job, but ruffles some feathers, and then now I've got another driver in. Dincho on the intermediate tyres are clearly just bedding in the setup and making sure everything is working well. Humus on a lap coming in towards the hotel section now, and he's got an Aston Martin in front of him. It's his own teammate that needs to get out of the way, and he hasn't. It's like Mavis. That's why Mavis is supposed to be his teammate. No, sorry, it's Mick. Mick is in the Aston Martin, and he does not get out of the way. If I was Remus, I'd be. Would you actually? This is the question. Do you report your teammate to the stewards for impeding? Because if you do, then your team loses out on the points. But if you don't, then it also doesn't. Like the penalties don't get applied, and the driver probably does it again to another driver. Stay Daisy, who last time out in Las Vegas did an incredible job and was fighting for the lead until a late collision put them out of contention. So can they do the same thing again in Abu Dhabi? To be fair, in Vegas it seems like they were doing the strategy that I labelled at the time. I called it 0-0 wings and inshallah. Obviously you can't do that around here. It's not as variable of a setup. You have to actually have a setup that has quite a bit of downforce compared to Vegas. So yeah, they've come into the pits. It seems they've invalidated their lap, but it seems that only a handful of drivers are coming out to begin with. Maybe it's because some are waiting for the track to rubber in, and especially with the top guys, the only properly fast guys who've gone out on track are Tias, Power, and Kevin. I feel like Kevin has gone for a second push lap here, so that maybe does indicate that he was not pushing as hard as he could have on that first try, all over the curbs. You have to be on this game because they basically pull you around the corners. There are lots of racing games that have that trait where the curbs just pull you into the apex, and it makes it so much easier to get around. Oh no, he's actually coming into the pit, so he was on his in lap, it seems. But watch out for Kevin. As I said, that might have been a bit of an anonymous banker lap just to try and maybe lure people in. Should we go on board with, let's see who else is out on track. Werner, regular midfield to back marker contender, currently on a flyer, I believe, into the chicane. Doesn't look very stable at all, to be honest. I think he's using automatic gears, so when you use automatic gears, it always goes in the lowest possible gear you can go in, and what that does is it puts you very high in the power band for some of these low speed corners and makes the car very unstable. This is why you should always try and learn how to race without assists, especially like traction control in ABS I still use to this day, because F1 cars don't handle like any other racing cars you'll ever drive. I drive pretty much no traction or ABS in any other cars I drive. But F1 cars are so alien to any other handling that I can't race them without using traction and ABS. So Werner decided to come in and box at the end of that lap. But essentially this is why you should always try and learn like basic assists like manual transmission, because it allows you to control the power band. As Toto has retired, I believe he must be going for a last to first then. There's no way he's crashed on the back straight. Serban, a new driver coming across the line. That is not an improvement on a lap time. Gone out on the mediums for some reason. We aren't in 2016 anymore. It's not the case that if you set your fastest lap on the medium tyres, you'll get an advantage by starting on them in the race when others wouldn't, because now it's the case that if you qualify on softs, you can start on the softs. If you qualify on the mediums, you can also start on the soft. There's no advantage to it. As Remus, a bit of a snap of oversteer, but he's going to get some slipstream off the back of it. I think that is Serban, who's just finished his lap. Glorious slipstream. That was a blue car. It might have been a Williams, actually. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to check that. But someone has also taken out the brake marker boards coming in towards that chicane. So I believe that could cause some problems. I know it is against the rules to do that on purpose, but then again, if the racing line is right on that curve, so you could easily just take them out by accident. Remus currently on the flyer, looking very smooth and confident. I know when I was driving, I was quite aggressive. That's just how generally how my driving style works. I like to throw the car into corners. Remus is obviously the opposite. Smooth, it depends. Smooth versus aggressive is always a tricky balance, because aggressive drivers tend to be quicker when it comes to qualifying and when it comes to just getting up to speed quickly. But smooth drivers tend to have better tyre wear, better, less mistakes, calmer in general racecraft. Although they can get some drivers who are aggressive in terms of driving style, but then really smooth and clean in terms of racecraft. Then you get some smooth drivers who are completely aggressive in racecraft and try and do things like that, like Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's a perfect example of that, a smooth driver who's aggressive in racing conduct, and Max Verstappen is an aggressive driver who has aggressive racing conduct. Well, I'm trying to think of an aggressive driver who has smooth racing conduct. I can't really think of one. Maybe Fernando Alonso or Kimi Raikkonen, actually. He has an aggressive driving style and a smooth like racing style. He hardly ever had any incidents with people. Alonso has incidents with people, but very rare, very rarely majorly controversial. But it was mostly the off-track stuff that was controversial with him. Rajic, I believe, is on our app. I'm not sure if we can go on board with him, but I think it'd be interesting to see the man who has won the championship and see if he can, and see if we can go on board with him. But it seems we're stuck on board with Remus here, I believe. Unless, oh no, we're going to go on to Kevin here. Kevin invalidated on that lap, but on this one, he's going for it. Let's see if he can better that time. We have 7 minutes and 42 seconds remaining on the clock, and that's another invalidation. Going too wide off the exit of turn 1, just opening that steering wheel a bit too much. Powertwan, 1.2 tenths up. This is currently on course to be the fastest lap in the session to usurp T.S. Korsman, who's come into VDRL at the end of Season 8 and done a fantastic job at usurping the old guard, the top guys, Kevin, Rajic, Toto. On a regular basis, he's been up there and or beating them. But can Powertwan make that 2 on top? He can! It's a 1 minute 21.907. Fantastic, as Ruben Rajic, who I wanted to go on board with earlier, set a 1 minute 22.174. Look how close they are up at the top. Even Nico-san has joined the party. Nico-san has joined the party, and he's only 2 tenths off the pole, actually closer to 3 tenths off the pole position, because although he's although Powertwan is on a 121.9 and Nico-san's on a 122.1, what they are like 90, like very far away in terms of the, like, he's a low 1 minute 21.9 and a high 1 minute 22.1, if you get what I mean. So he's closer to 3 tenths than it is 2 tenths, even though a 121.9 sounds like it's 2 tenths off a 1 minute 22.1. It's closer to 3 tenths. Anyway, Stave Daisy here on a, no, he's not on a flyer because they're in non-ERS. I've just realised that on this stream, the gloves of every driver looks incredibly grainy, and it makes it look like they're about to get abducted by some alien spacecraft, or like it's some sort of 1960s horror movie with the grey Williams gloves. That's spooky. We have a couple of new drivers here. Shall we go on board with Emmanuel Tawia in the Racing Bulls? Or should we stay on board with Stay Daisy? Because I think, oh no, Stay Daisy is going on to an actual lap, but we'll stay on board with Emmanuel Tawia. Oh, he's invalid. Whoops. Maybe I'm not as good of a TV director as I thought I was. But Kevin Purple in the second sector, but he's not. I looked in the sector split. He's 12 thousandths down on the. I don't know. I think he's on his personal best. So he needs to gear it up in this final sector if he wants to get into those magical 1 minute 21s. He's got a lot of ERS to deploy compared to what I've seen with the other guys. Is it enough though? No, he's decided to pit and go on for another set of tyres. I mean, he is on 2 lap worn softs. Stay Daisy's also 64 thousandths off their lap time. So maybe they can, again, Stay Daisy was incredibly good in Las Vegas, but as I said, it's a very setup dependent track. Werner attempts down on their time. I mean, they are on 2 lap old softs as well. But they are going to get a slipstream from my teammate Froby. Those two have been working hard to improve the stature of the Sauber team. They're both two very midfield drivers, probably the more consistent. Werner, definitely the slower one. Good, he's actually got a fairly decent one-lap pace compared to the guys around him, but you always see him towards the back in the races. I think he's lacking in racecraft and lacking in execution, really. Werner, that'll be something he'll look to improve on going into Season 9. Same with guys like Vestest and Luzcek. I mean, Luzcek has come up to the top of the field a couple of times, mainly due to strategy. But yeah, there's a lot of teams and drivers that will want to improve. Yeah, there's a lot of drivers that will want to improve going into Season 10. Kevin is one of them because he needs to win a championship for once. Dincho has just set a 13th fastest lap time in the Red Bull. 1.4 seconds off his teammate. Only Red Bull and VDRL could be the one team that has one teammate that's good and one teammate that's hopeless. Unless he can improve, because he's not on a lap now. He's on non-ERS. He is the only guy out on track though who's technically on a flying lap. The only other two guys are G-Man and Franover, none of which I really want to go on board because they're not very interesting. You've also got Dr. Comic and Remus. They're both in the first sector, but I believe that, I mean, we could have got, I don't think we should go on board with them. We've got Forward to Dawn and just come out on an outlap, so people will be coming out for their final runs very shortly. And, well, here's my predictions for pole position. I think Tiaz will get pole position. I think he's been known for clutching up in these last moments, especially in qualifying. One lap pace is absolutely astonishing. I think Power will get the second, and I think Kevin will get third. I don't see, unless Rajic squeezes in there, because he's only done one run, I believe. I believe Kevin's going to struggle here. It seems like it's not one of his stronger tracks. Unless that's hideously wrong and he's won like 8 times here. I doubt it. But yeah, I believe it should be Tias, Power, and Kevin, because I believe that those three will be the ones who clutch up. Magic, I think, having won the championship, will just not care and will just be cruising home to just finish off the season. I don't think he's going to risk anything really. Franover says he's on a flying lap, but it doesn't look like he's flying much here. He may have got invalid early on in the lap because he's on non-ERS and he's not at 100%. I believe he may have gone invalid earlier in the run. And I think he's looking to regenerate some ERS. Press stop the throttle and brake at the same time and you'll generate some, but he's already got back to 92% anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And he's now coming around the final corner to start a final lap. I think he is lagging horrifically. I don't think this is Martin's stream, I think it's just Franover lagging horrifically. Down to 4th gear, you're already in 5th gear for that corner. Maybe 4th gear for a bit of rotation. But yeah, let's get to Kevin. Yep, the lag was definitely on Franover, I knew it was. But Kevin's on an out lap here. Is he the first guy of the leading quintet? It's not even a quartet, it's a quintet. That's the 5 version of a quartet. It's like it goes one person, then it goes duo, trio, quartet, quintet, sextet, don't laugh, septet, octet, non-tet for 9, dectet for 10. No, actually non-tet would be 11 because the nonagon is 11. Dodecatet, that's an amazing word for the top 12 if they were all within a massive way. But yeah, Kevin isn't the first one who's going to start his lap. I'd prefer to go on board with either Tiaz or Nikos, and whichever one's going to get to the checkered flag personally first. But Tiaz is 0.088 seconds up. I told you about him clutching up in these moments. All over this curve, just like I was. He's taking the tips from me as he comes through the second sector chicane. Nicely done. Back on this curve on the exit as well. Perfectly straddling the track limits here. Trying to build up speed, build up tension and build up anticipation for this final section of the circuit. 3 temps up! He's going to go even faster than anyone even considered was possible here. Now, coming in towards the trickiest part of the lap, with most corners packed into the smallest kind of space. Kevin also on a flyer, but Tiaz is looking like he's on an absolute storming run at the moment. Coming through the last sector, oh, he's lost the back end. He's lost the back end, but has he got enough of an advantage to still keep that pole position? He's going fantastically in the first two sectors, but I told you it was a tricky last sector. Is it going to be enough? Coming across the line? Yes, it is. It's a 1 minute 21.676 for him. Kevin has got invalid. He will not improve his position. Ruben has stayed fourth, and Powertwan is not improving. So it looks like Tiaz is going to take pole position unless Powertwan has something to pull out in this final sector. I doubt it. Nicoson also invalid. Emmanuel, the newbie, has gone second place after being in last for the majority of the session. What a fantastic ending to this session. Wowee! Oh my goodness me. We had a new driver come in Tias and absolutely destroy the pack. We had Stade Daisy come in after being a nobody for most of the time before and do well in Vegas. We had Powertwan, who's I've not seen him at the top before, and now we have Emmanuel Tawia taking second place. So this has to be the first time in a very long time that neither Kevin, Ruben, Toro, Kevin, Ruben or Toro have appeared in the top 3 of a qualifying session. Fantastic stuff from Tias, fantastic stuff from Emmanuel, and fantastic stuff from Powertwan. Wow, what a qualifying session that was here in Abu Dhabi. Fantastic stuff. So, after a tense and intense end to that qualifying session, we have Tiaz Korsman on pole. What did I say? He clutches up in those final moments when everyone else was losing out, like missing apexes, losing time on their laps. Tiaz made his own mistake and yet still took pole by 3/10. Without that, he could have been on pole by what, 5/10? He could have been below a 1 minute 21.5. That could have been insane stuff. But what a time to be alive. Tias Korsman, pole position, followed by Emmanuel Tawia, Kevin, Ruben, Nicoson. I don't know who's in 6th place. I believe it's it was Emmanuel Tawia, then Powertwan, then Kevin, then Ruben, then Nicoson. Remus, Stade Daisy, Doctor, Luschek, Froby, Serban, Vaist, Hest, Forward, Werner, Dincho, G-Man, Mike, Franaver, and Toro will try and do a last to first challenge here in Abu Dhabi. But knowing his luck, his electricity will go again, because that's what we've seen in the past couple of races. I believe 3-4 times his electricity has gone during the races, which is so unfortunate because Toro is a fantastic driver who might not be on the same level of pace and consistency as the level of guys like Kevin and Rajic, but he's certainly up there in terms of, like, when he's on his day, he can perform. He's like, I'd say, like a Valtteri Bottas, or maybe not Valtteri Bottas because he's a bit stinky, but like a Rubens Barrichello or David Coulthard. On his day, he's on the level of Mika Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher, but most of the time he's just a little bit behind, and that's nothing to be ashamed of because Toro is a fantastic driver, much better than I am, I can tell you that for sure, because I think my fastest time trial time, and that's a time trial time, you don't get those times in short qualifying, would have only just snuck me inside the top 10 in this league. It's a very competitive league. I'm not sure what my qualifying time was in the fun race. I'd have to go and check it out so we could possibly see how it would have stacked up, although track conditions do vary. Although it's dry, yeah, you can see that track temperatures might play a difference or whatever. But we're now loading into the race lobby. We're hoping for an exciting end to this season. We have nothing to fight for, so maybe that'll mean that the drivers will push harder and go more aggressively. But this is VDRL. They push hard and go aggressively anyway, regardless of whether you tell them to or whether there's championship implications. We saw that in Imola when Kevin and Ruben collided. We saw that in Qatar when we saw some great side-by-side and tight action. We saw that last weekend in Las Vegas when we had Stade Daisy rocketing to the front and then making a mistake and then colliding with other drivers around them to deny them of their first win. So many new drivers coming onto the fray this season, so many established names coming to the forefront, but will we see some more action, some more drama, some more entertainment in the final race of the season? It's been a great season. We hope that you join us for Season 9, but we will still be waiting to get to the end of this Season 8 as the drivers are getting their setups in. You can see the fans cheering and clapping, but I think we should be getting ready for the start any time now, because it's been a very long loading screen. Very long loading screen. But, I mean, if you're TS, you're just thinking, what do I do off the start? Because there's no formation lap, no time to prepare, it's just straight in. You don't want to put too much throttle off on the start. You don't want to bottle by getting a poor start, because it's a very tricky track to overtake on Abu Dhabi. Maybe less so in the Formula 1 games, but still, because of DRS trains being a massive problem, if you're not first, or if you're not first or second, you're going to struggle to get by. So you don't want to, definitely if you're TS, don't want to lose more than one position. It doesn't matter if you're second, because you can just get back out of DRS. But if you're stuck in a DRS train, the chance of third place overtaking second place is very slim, unless you send a move into a corner, like I did on Dylan in yesterday's race. But I can hear the timer clicking down. We are getting ready for the final race of the VDRL season. This is going to be... Is it going to be the climax, or is it going to be the anticlimax? I hope it's going to be a good one. We count down. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Abu Dhabi. We are go, 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 go. I don't know who's got the best start. I believe Emmanuel has got the best start going in towards turn 1. The rookie, the leader, into the first corner. And he's been challenged, as Tia's been challenged by Power. And Power challenging for the lead coming round turn 2. Fantastic racing here, as now the top 3, top 4 all bunched up together. Kevin also tucked in behind. This could be chaos if these drivers don't work together properly. And that is the Williams on the inside. That's Powerton to the inside, then taking the lead as we come down towards the hairpin and down towards the first chicane that exists on this circuit. Powerton leads, followed by Emmanuel, Tias, and Kevin, but Emmanuel's being boxed in there by the Williams and Powertwan, and that's going to allow Tias to go in on the inside, but Tias on the inside of Powertwan and refuses to give room to Williams. And that's allowed Emmanuel to get back into this fight. Yellow flags in sector 2. I believe someone has gone off in the back. That may have been Froby and Franader. Have lost a lot of time, as has G-Man there. But Powertron leads us going into the first and third sector. And that is Tawia trying to defend from Remus. Remus has had a fantastic start, and so has Kevin. Kevin making contact with Emmanuel, and Emmanuel's on the circuit. Our second place starter, the man who led going into the first corner, is now down to 12th place with potential damage. Kevin and Dogster Comic fighting. Got to leave more room than that, Kevin. You can't just barge people off a circuit, regardless of how many starts they've had. You might have had 800,000, but you have to leave respect for everyone. And there's a mix of tyres, actually, just see the tyre strategy. Some on mediums, some on hards. That could also play a factor into who does well here. As Emmanuel has decided to stay out, so I don't believe Emmanuel has damage, but Nicoson definitely does. He started 5th, and that's a big shame for... No, actually, I think he started 6th. And that's a big shame for Nicoson now. Coming into the pits at the end of the first lap for potential damage. Tono up to 14 from the back of the grid, and that's a great start from him. But Dogster Comic is now... He's taken his teammate's place in the top 5. That's a really good movement from him. But Remus has had a fantastic start. I don't know where Remus started, but I think it was just inside the top 10. But he's now made his way up into 3rd place, used those medium tyres to effect, and now Emmanuel Tawia is trying to make his way through the rest of the grid. Yet Remus started 7th, so just behind that leading quintet and whoever was in 6th place. No, actually there was 6 people because Emmanuel Tawia went in at the start. So best of the rest, Remus was in qualifying, but now he's into 3rd place. On lap 2 of 29, Tiaz following Powertwan. We are building up towards what could be a crescendo to end all crescendos here in Abu Dhabi, with the lights will be turned on because it's a twilight race, the only twilight race on the calendar. If those who don't know what twilight means, those who aren't familiar with the English language, it means a race that goes from day to night. It's not. I'm not making a reference to the film, the Twilight films. I've heard they're terrible, and I've never watched them because I'm autistic and I don't watch films. I only watch documentaries and things that are non-fictional. And that's Powertran going wide there, off the exit of turn 1, and now he's lost a bit of time to Tiaz. I mean, he was probably going to get passed on this DRS straight anyway, because of how powerful the DRS is, but you still don't want to be making unnecessary mistakes. Toto up to 12th place, past Dincho. You know, Emmanuel Tawia is up to 10th, and we'll see how those two drivers, as there is a change for the lead, we'll see how those two drivers make their way back up through the pack, as Kevin has now overtaken Remus. That's not really a surprise. Remus was enjoying his time up in the podium positions, but it was always going to happen that he was going to lose that position again. coming at some point because Kevin is just an unbearably fast driver. But now we're going to get a second fight of the lead here. Power-Twan re-overtakes Tias. That is, what, 3 changes for the lead? 4 changes for the lead in the opening 3 laps. Only VDRL could make Abu Dhabi racing entertaining. And it looks like Tias has more straight line speed than Power-Twan because he was gaining there coming in towards the third sector. Or in the third sector. This is that entire section is in the third sector. I just see it as, because the third sector is completely like corner ridden, I like to see it as just before the hotel section starts, even though it's not. But now we are coming in towards lap 4. Whole fastest lap is currently given to Kevin. But Tias is all over the back of Power-Twan. And he's going up the inside into the hairpin. This could allow guys like Kevin to catch back up again as they are fighting. And Kevin is on the rear end of them. Look at them, they're going side by side into the chicane. And I think Kevin could try and move up the inside of Power-Twan here. He could go from P1 down to P3. Kevin backs out of it though, kind of half-heartedly backs out of it. If I was him, I'd have backed out a little bit more convincingly. Because not only has he left himself open to Remus, but he didn't allow Power-Twan to make the overtake on Tias. I'm not sure if that was orchestrated, because Tias is on the harder tyres and so it'll be easier to catch up to him. But now Stay Daisy, all over the back of Dr. Comic. No move there. Serban in 8th. His teammate Emmanuel Tawia 9th. I wonder if there's been any team orders at Racing Bulls, because Emmanuel Tawia is definitely the faster driver of the two. And he's also on the faster tyres as well. Oh, Toto, that's not a gap. Have some patience, my friend. Oh, G-Man's off. G-Man's off, not a safety car. An early safety car here in Abu Dhabi, triggered by G-Man going off. I believe that was that just him naturally going off, or did he get forced out there? It's a very odd place to crash. There may have been an incident with another driver, but a lot of drivers into the pits. All the medium runners, apart from Vastest, are in the pits. Emmanuel Tawia's got a 10-second time penalty for a collision with Stay Daisy. That could ruin his race. I mean, his race has already practically been screwed over by the early incident that he got involved in. But now he'll have to probably come in, because what I do now is, yes, he's on brand new hards. What I do now is come into the pits again, onto a new set of mediums, get a 10-second serve, then come into the pits again the lap after and go onto a set of hards. You'll be last, but you'll have served a 10-second time penalty. And I think it's time for promotion now, because we are under safety car. We always do promotion. And yeah, we'll do some promotion. So we don't have any sponsors anyway. We don't have any sponsors, but what we do have is a Discord server. What we do have is an Instagram. What we do have is a Twitch. No, we don't have a Twitch. We have a Twitter, is what I meant to say, /X, if you call it that. We have a, what have I not said? TikTok. Do we have a Facebook page? I doubt it. But you can follow us at VD Racing League, and you can join the Discord with I believe there's a link in the YouTube. You can join us from there if you want to join us for any commentary. You can join me in the booth if Jale and Will decide to go on their hiatus permanently. You can come in for stewarding, you can come in to drive if you want to drive with these other guys who are so fantastic. Be one of the other rookies to come on and beat the establishment. But you can join this amazing league. This is the only day we race at the moment. I'm not sure if that's going to change for next season. Again, I doubt it, because this format clearly works. But then again, if we get loads of people join because they've seen the YouTube, then we'll have to open a second tier. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Kevin, if you could just go on board with... Oh yeah, Ruben cycled to the front of the pit crews here. If you wouldn't mind just going on board with him and going like onto his TV pod camera so I can see if the audio is synced up properly. Because on my screen, I'm not sure if it's audio delay. I might go and quickly back out of the stream, but you can hear that the gear shifts aren't fully in sync. Unless that's just my... I'll just quickly back off the stream and see if that's my issue. I believe it may have been fixed now. Yeah, I think it's fixed now. Yeah, it's fixed now. I just needed to back off the stream and go back in. But Ruben is leading the field. His teammate is in third. Serban is in second place. Emmanuel has done exactly what I suggested, which is come into the pits, bolt on a set of mediums, and I bet he will be coming in next lap, or this lap, sorry, to go back onto his set of hards, because mediums will not make it to the end. Hards, I believe, can make it to the end from here, because they are like a stone in this game. It's genuinely like the 2010 Bridgestones, for anyone who knows, for anyone who was watching Formula 1 back then. If not, all you need to know is that they were a tie that could do the entire race distance, genuinely. Like, every race there was a lot of drivers who just did one pit stop, and it was either right at the start to get their pit stop out of the way, or right at the end to get their pit stop out of the way. If you guys want to make any predictions about this race, I know it's already in the process of happening, but if you want to give winner predictions, if you want to ask me a question, ask me, and I will go onto the stream comments and I will answer them, because that's how you because that's how answering questions works. Hi Nedzo says F1 fan. How are you? I am good. I'm commentating on VDRL, so why wouldn't I be? As Mick has fallen down the field. I'm not exactly sure why. Mick in front of there, and now Mick is going back up through the field. It seems there's some sort of shenanigans going on with that. Emmanuel Talia has decided to stay out on track, which is interesting, because I know some people are fearful that the safety car will come in without them being caught up, but that only happens in the closing laps of a race. Since when did you do comms, Ned? I've been doing comms in this league for ages. How do you rate Red Bull's replacement for Timo? Well, last weekend it was Eden Jones, and he was fantastically fast. He just didn't realise his teammate was in a title battle and kept getting in his way. And I think this week Kevin decided to go for someone who was not going to get in his way, which is Dincho. Which is ironic because he's now ahead of him. I know it's safety car, but yeah. It was actually there was a rumor, and by the way, there's a rumor circulating directly from me. I was supposed to be the driver who was teammate for Kevin, because I wanted to do, because I always make like one start per season or two starts per season. I think I made a start in Monaco earlier in the year, and I wanted to make one in the last race in Abu Dhabi, but because there was no other commentators available, I decided to do this instead. So yeah, I could have been racing here, but unfortunately that's not the case. Ruben, though, keeping the field in check. We snail round the final couple of corners, waiting for the safety car. It's already in the pit lane. He can drop the anchor and drop the hammer whenever he wants. Pressure building, tension rising, and he's gone, and he's dropped it off of the second to last corner, and that's left a massive gap to Serban. Toro is going to be right all over him, coming off of this final corner onto the main straight, a very short main straight. I doubt we'll see a move into here, but we are seeing a move further behind. Tiaz on the inside of Dincho. Tiaz on the inside of Dincho, and he's got that move done off the exit as Dincho gets forced wide and Powertron through as well. Kevin might go through as a third one here because it's his teammate, and he should be sensible enough to realise to get out of the way, and he has. That's something that Eden Jones never did. And I think that Kevin will be thankful of that. And Toro will be inside of Serban. That's what you need to do. Another driver who's not very good, but Serban has got him back on the switchback, and Toro has lost out there. I'm not exactly sure why or how, but he's down to 5th place, and that could be Kevin through as well. Serban might have sent a bit of an aggressive dive on there. Tiaz now on the inside of Serban into the chicane. Nicely done from Tiaz. Gets that move done. And now we shall chase after Ruben. And he needed to get that done because Ruben is on older, hard tyres. Mick down to 19th place. Mick has spun at the chicane along with Froby, and that's a virtual safety car this time. So multiple drivers off the track there. Mick is one of them, and I believe Froby is another. Or Froby got caused for it because he was right at the back now, and he wasn't before. But there's a virtual safety car. All drivers need to do now is be careful of getting drive-through penalties, because that could also ruin your race. But now Tiaz is within DRS range of Ruben. This should be a short virtual safety car. Nezo, do you prefer comms alone or with others? To be honest, I prefer them alone because I can always dictate what we're going to talk about, and I think it hasn't come back in yet. But yeah, I can dictate essentially what gets talked about, and I don't have to deal with other people's opinions because they're usually wrong when it comes to a Formula One, because I'm always right and I'm never an arrogant person. But virtual safety car is in. Power Twan has overtaken Serban. And now I think we're going to see Tias overtake Ruben here. DRS will be available on this lap. And Tias has got the gap. Look at him, he's pulling alongside. We can see it from this angle. And Tias is up into first now, past Ruben on those better medium tyres. He's by far the highest up driver who's on that set of tyres. Ruben is going to do everything he can to get back in front, I believe, here. But can't do anything to match the superior grip of the yellow wall tyres. Someone's used the word Riz in the chat, and I want Martin to ban them from a server and any YouTube comment sections permanently, because anyone who uses that word is either 5 years old and shouldn't be on YouTube or Discord, or is actually I'm not going to say the word I was going to say to describe the people who use the word Riz, because that wouldn't get us demonetized. How do you rate Sigma Tias being 5th? Well, he's now 1st, so that's obviously an old message. And he's also pulling away from the front of the pack. 8/10 now. The gap between Tias and Ruben, because Ruben's on those older tyres and he hasn't got the grip. Although now he will get DRS on this straight, which should put him closer. It depends. Does he have the straight line speed? Franaver, 3-second time penalty. I think he's the first driver to get a penalty for track limits in this race. Remus overtakes Dincho. But now, this is the problem with DRS. Ruben is clearly not the quickest driver on the track, but now he's managed to gain a massive amount of time on the leader, and the leader will struggle to pull away now. Toto, DRS on Serban. Kevin is actually falling out of the DRS of Power Twan. Is Kevin washed now all of a sudden? Now all these new guys have come in and proven how fast they are. Is he now washed? I mean, he hasn't won a championship in donkey's years anyway, but it is him truly not even on the podium on merit in a race where he definitely should be. He went from getting 9 poles in a row earlier in the season to not even on the podium. And now, Power Twan. Faster lap than they've been on any point in this race. And Emmanuel, fastest lap. I said, how is he going to do getting through the pack? He's currently in 13th place. But will still be needing to make his way through. He's not in the he's now in the DRS of Werner. I was just about to say he's not, but he is now. But it will be very hard to overtake the moving chicane, the moving obstacle that is Werner. I hate to be mean, but he is kind of a bit slow. That should make it partly easy, but also partly hard because he's unpredictable. But Ruben doesn't get past Tias there. Power Twan also waiting behind, and he's actually pushed Ruben basically through that corner, and he's unsettled him a bit, but it should allow him to get a better run. To the inside Ruben goes, to the outside Power Twan goes, and they're both going to get by Tias, or are they? Because Tias is fighting back on Power Twan. I know whenever people try to go around the outside of me on this corner, I just forced them to be outside. I did that actually to Tias during the fun race, and then he brake checked me and spun me out because he was rattled by a commentator, which is crazy. But now Power Twan channeling his inner poo sniffer, because he likes to sniff the rear end of Tias there. I don't know why I came out with that reference, because I've ruined any humour that's been existing in this race so far. But Emmanuel Tawia overtakes Vastus, and he's also got. He also didn't get past Werner. No, Werner's still in front of him, so Werner and him have made up positions, which is a scary thought to have. How bad must you be if Werner's making up positions on you? But now Tiaz and so that's Powertwan and Tiaz going back at it, and Tiaz might go the inside of Ruben here. No, decides to back out of that one. But I think Tiaz has started to realise that those medium tyres are maybe not as beneficial as he thought, because he hasn't pulled that away. In fact, he's not even in the lead on that yellow rubber. As now Powertwan around the outside of Ruben, gets that move done going into the final sector. Todd up into sixth, past Serban, but after he gets past Rimas, he's got a long way to go to catch up to the front four. And when the others have DRS, I doubt that he's going to be able to do that. So I think unless Rimas pulls his finger out and catches up to the likes of Kevin and Tiaz and Ruben and Powertwan, which is unlikely to happen, no offence to Rimas, I think Todo's going to struggle to actually get back into this race unless we get another safety car, which is not completely out of the question. Doctor has decided to come in. He may have damage of some sort because that's a very early stop to go off of the hards onto a set of mediums, I'm guessing. Especially when he's on an 8-lap hold hards, having come in at the end of the safety car, start of the safety car period. Oh, a bit of a snap there from Ruben. That could allow Tiaz into a chance to overtake. But no, because DRS exists, so it negates any advantage, or does it negate any advantage? It doesn't, because Tiaz is using the overtake. Down the inside he goes into the chicane, and they are racing side by side here. Ruben's still on the inside, he's got to leave room, and Ruben just understeers slightly into the side of Tiaz, and that unsettled them both, and that's allowed Kevin to join the fight. He's going to box Ruben in here, so he can't go to the inside, or can he? Because now Tiaz decided to cover off Kevin for some reason instead of covering off Ruben, who had the better run. And Tiaz stays in second place, luckily. But now Ruben is right on the back of him. He might go for a lunge in the hotel section, decides not to. Emmanuel Tawia, Nico and Dincho all battling over 10th place for the last points position. So there's action all over the field, to be frankly honest. Neddo is glazing so many people right now. I don't think I am, to be honest. Someone just got a penalty, I believe, but I didn't see who it was. Because I was looking down at my phone to see this chat. But we'll now come on towards lap 14 of 29. We are just under halfway through this race. You can see the sun is starting to set here in Abu Dhabi, and the sun is starting to set on the season because it's been a good one, and Rajic has won, but we've still got drivers fighting over these wins and for second places and third places. It's absolutely crazy. To be fair to Remus though, he's not lost much time to the guys in front of him. Oh, okay, never mind. Just as I said, he lost 4 tenths in one corner. Well, it's because of DRS, actually. That's why he's losing time. But he's also got now a train of cars behind him. And I think who else has got a train of cars behind him? Powertwan. But it's more the battle between Ruben and Tiaz. But again, this is what annoys me about DRS. When everyone has DRS, you cannot get by unless you dump all your ERS into the river just to get by one car. And also these guys aren't aggressive enough to go for moves, for example, into the hotel section. Forward goes past Emmanuel, and I believe there's a spinner in the second sector. Or into the hairpin. I don't know who it was, but Emmanuel Tawia has lost positions and seems to be struggling. So it might be him. So that might be some more rotten luck for the man who qualified in second place and led on the first lap. Well, he's lost the position to Vastus, so that pretty much indicates that he does have damage. And to Werner, yep, so he has damage. Yeah, that's unfortunate for him, coming into the pits with a broken front wing. Also in his race dust. Well, I mean, I suppose he can go on to hards now. Oh, he's retired. I had a feeling that's what he was going to do. I mean, if I started second and then got screwed out of a result, I'd also probably do that. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Stay to the end because I'm not salty. But now Ruben can't get by Tiaz. They're probably both using ERS because they're both gaining a lot on Powertwan here. But what he's done is he's stopped Ruben from making the overtake into that prodigal second place. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be, because then you can make the move on the leader pretty easily. But Ruben has got the better run coming out of the chicane, and now to the outside. He's got the move done on Tiaz, I believe. Yes, he has. Takes the apex for the long left-hander, but I believe he's going to pull alongside Powertwan here. Doesn't, in fact. He decides to back out of that one instead of going for the move. Fanaver's retired. Fanaver's retired in the pit lane. Another driver backing out of the final race of the season. But I'll tell you who isn't backing out. These front four. Rimas has gained on them because of all the battling that's been going on. And I believe Fanaver's AI has decided to come back out onto the circuit, which is going to potentially I don't think it should stir things up. We shouldn't get a safety car for this, but if we did, it would mean that everyone would probably come in for a brand new set of either, hards. They would come in for, actually, no, that would be interesting because a lot of drivers have already gone on hards and used them extensively. So it'll be interesting to see what you do on strategy. You probably have to do a two-stop until the end, but now Ruben moves his way easily past Power1, while Kevin moves his way past Tias. That's important for that third place, sorry, because Kevin hasn't been in that third place, I don't think, all race. Not even during the pit stops, I don't believe. Rimas trying to get the under and over on Toto, who's trying to get past Daisy as well. They're just these packs of cars, like four cars up at the front, 3 cars battling for 5th. And now Toto moves his way up into that 5th place, past Daisy, past Rimas. But now Rimas is on the outside, I believe, of Daisy, but no, decides to back out of that one as well. So many battles up and down the field in this final race of the season. You wouldn't think it was final race of the season without anything to play for, given what we're seeing on track here. And that's Toto into the pits. Onto, I assume, a brand new set of mediums after being on those trusty hards for 15 laps. 16 laps, actually. He'll spend 12 laps on those mediums. That's what he's got in for. Forward also coming in, as well as Dincho. That will shake up the midfield a little bit. But the next question will be, what happens to the leaders? Because the leaders are, well, they're all in the DRS train. You've got to think it's not just about where you get an undercut on better tyres, because if the rest of them are using DRS to get to leapfrog past each other, it's going to be harder to make the undercut work. So you preferably all have to pit at the same time. And also, luckily for everyone in this DRS train at the front, they're all on different teams. So there's no double stacking in the pits to have to worry about. We had problems with this earlier in the season with Ruben and Toto. They used to always have to double stack, but now that's not a problem because Toto's down in 11th, battling with Phoebe and Werner. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Kevin and Power1. I believe that was just a bit of a concertina effect. I don't think he's got damage. I'd be very surprised if he did. That was a tiniest of taps. And I was talking about pitting. Ruben has decided to come in now. He thinks that he can get the undercut. He is on the oldest of the tyres of everyone, so that does make sense that he'd want to come in the earliest. But that is brave from Ruben. Where will he come out of the pits? Because if he gets stuck in traffic, especially behind these two Saubers, it could be a massive problem for him. Or is he going to come out around where his teammate is? What these guys need to do, these guys, Power1, Kevin and Tiaz, is work together to get Ruben out of this leading battle. They need to work together and pull out a gap on him. DRS and DRS being used for Kevin now. That's a perfect working together. No battling, no side-by-side action you want. You want to just have clean DRS leapfrog passing. Ruben has rejoined in 10th place. He has got a gap, luckily. 3 seconds, that should be, I'm guessing with the other guys will be coming in soon. So they shouldn't hold him up too much. But now Kevin is in the lead. After being in 4th place or 5th place for most of this race, he's now up into the lead. When I talked about him being washed, I think he took that personally. Werner into 7th past Luzchek in his pit stop window. So he's not there of a merit, but he is up there right now on track. And the leaders have decided to stay out. I mean, Ruben's tyres were significantly older than the other guys, so I can see why they've done that. But they do need to be wary of a threat. If you could go on to, they are now on 14 lap old tyres. Ruben, when he came in, was on 17 lap old tyres. Yellow flags in centre 2, and that is Mick round. No safety car, just a spin. Could we, Martin, have a look at the gap to leader so we can see how much Ruben is gaining? So 19.6 seconds, the gap to the lead. I believe that's less than what it was when he came in. Stay Daisy past Remus into the chicane. Nicely done for him. But I believe, yeah, Ruben is definitely gaining. The leaders, I believe, unless it's massive, unless I'm ever going to come on to soft. Oh, Rick has spun again, unless it's a virtual safety car. That's exactly what the leaders need. And it's a spin under virtual safety car. It's giving him wing damage. And Remus will also benefit from this as well. And that's his teammate. I'm not sure if he's just driving like crap on purpose because his teammate needs a pit stop. Yeah, Mick is retired. Virtual safety car is out, so the leaders can pit if they want. That will give a massive advantage to them, actually. And Remus will also get an advantage. Well, everyone will get an advantage who hasn't pitted yet. It's not just Remus, but wait, what? Kevin has decided not to pit. Neither has Powertwan. Tiaz has decided to pit. So are these guys going to the end? They must be, because there's no way if they were wanting to pit that they wouldn't have come in there. Froby with a 10-second time penalty for clashing with his own teammate. But watch out for this, because green flags have come out because the virtual safety car is coming in. Maybe that's why they didn't come in. Has Tiaz done a blunder here? Because now he's completely out of the leading battle. Oh dear, Tiaz. I think he has. I think he's blundered here. A lot of drivers have come in, but it's green flags. And now Ruben is 14 seconds off the lead with 10 laps remaining. He's not making his way back to the lead if these guys don't come in. Unless they just completely fall off on time performance. Kevin and Powertwan are going to be the ones who win. Are going to be one of the ones who win this race. Because Tiaz is not making up that gap. He's not. He might get back up into around 4th place. But he's not getting on the podium unless we have an actual genuine safety car. He's passed Froby pretty easily. And State Daisy's passed Serban. But I believe that a lot of drivers here have done a blunder on the strategy. What was a previous 4-way battle for the lead is now a 2-way battle for the lead, because Tiaz and Ruben came in, and I don't think we're going to see any more pit stops from the leading guys. I mean, I guess Toto could try, but even then, it's a 17-second gap to the lead. I've just realised it's not even a 17-second gap to the lead. Now, unless Toto sets that lap for every single remaining lap of the race, he's making. Doctor got a drive-through, it seems. So, oh yeah, Doctor must have had a drive-through penalty. I didn't see that. Doctor has decided to retire from the session as he comes into the pits. That's a shame for him. One of the new drivers. Ruben has passed Toto. So team orders in effect at Alpine. I would love to see what the fastest last lap between Kevin and Ruben were, just to see how much he is gaining. So not, yeah, Ruben and Kevin, but I think we're going to stay with the action. We are on lap 21 and 29. We'll be moving on to lap 22 very shortly. We have 8 laps remaining of this fantastic, or we will have 8 laps remaining of this fantastic race. Ruben will be looking to get a podium here. Remus might lose the podium. Apart from that, I believe it was, well, I don't think it was the wrong decision to pit because he had to pit. He wasn't going to make it to the end on those tyres. But I believe it was definitely the wrong decision for Tiaz. And Tiaz to pit. Yeah, it was wrong for Tiaz to pit. If the virtual safety car had have stayed out like 20 seconds longer, maybe. But now Ruben Huertas sets that fastest lap of the race. He is gaining so much on the leaders. 9.6 seconds now. 9.3! I mean, he's gaining on, it's mainly Remus, but he is still gaining a lot. But now Toto repassing. Are they trying to leapfrog each other using the DRS so that they get... Oh no, they're not. It's just because they're trying to defend from Stay Daisy now. Because Stay Daisy's trying to come in and ruin the party. And now Stay Daisy's going to try and go to the outside of Toto here. Around the outside, as you do. Toto forcing them way out to allow Adject to retake, or Ruben to retake the position. But now Stay Daisy is being boxed in. I think this could end badly if they're not careful. Toto decides to back out there. If Toto does his job and just holds up Stay Daisy here, I think they could be fine. Because I think Stay Daisy's going for fourth, not realising the bigger picture is that they can get a podium, or one of these lot can get a podium. I think Stay Daisy just wants to try and overtake. They are gaining quite a lot on leaders, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They gained, I believe, around about 1 second on that last lap. 1.1, 1.2, and then again, I suppose if they didn't have the battling, it could have been a bit more. There were 7 laps to go. If they will catch up to Remus probably on the last lap, and they will, and at that time, they will have a better tyres still, but it will be a lot closer in terms of tyre performance. And now Toto going past, and I think Stay Daisy might try and go by here as well. He's going on the very late lunge there, and I think he's ruining it. He's ruining it for all of them. Toto forcing him out wide. I think that's a bit much because now I think Stay Daisy has wing damage, but I think the Alpines have realised that Stay Daisy is not there to play around, and now it's allowed Tiaz back into the fight. What is Tiaz going to do? I think Stay Daisy just didn't realise, or hasn't realised, that they're going for a podium. They're not going for 4th place. They're not all fighting on the 4th. They don't want to battle each other. They just want to catch up to the leaders and then battle. That was a very aggressive move from Toto. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a penalty in Power Twad. 3-second time penalty. That is a problem for Power Twad. I wonder how many warnings Kevin has. Because if Kevin has multiple warnings, he could also be in trouble. Kevin has, let's have a look. So he has 1 there. He has... Okay, let's see. Do we have a second? No, we don't. Kevin only has 1 warning. So at the moment, he has this pretty much in the bag. Tiaz overtakes Toto. If we can move back to this battle for the minor podium positions, potentially, please. Tiaz has moved ahead of Toto. But I don't know if he's going to try and cause havoc and try and overtake Ruben as well. He has. He's overtaken Ruben. I don't know if the Alpine boys are going to like that. Tiaz with a 3-second time penalty. A time penalty of his own. Do you believe Mick tried to do a crash though? I don't believe so because it hasn't benefited. Well, it has benefited Remus in the short term, but I believe that these guys could catch him in the long term if they all work together. Because now the gap is 5.6 seconds with about 4.5 laps to go. They will catch him, but especially if Tias is in front, they won't pass him. As now we're coming towards the second sector with Power Twab, but I believe we should be going back to the battle between Tiaz, Ruben and Toro, because I think it's a more interesting battle than the one we've got now. Because now Toro on the inside of Stay Daisy, because Stay Daisy's lost a position. I think Toro is really fed up with Stay Daisy's antics today. Well, daring to fight with him, I suppose. But so Ruben has overtaken Tiaz, and now Toro battling with Stay Daisy. So the two Alpines both in unison fighting with another driver, and I think he should be trying to go around the outside here. Stay Daisy pushing him right to the outside there, and Toro is going to try and get by regardless of whether Stay Daisy wants him to, and he has done it. 4.3 seconds that gap now. I think it is a bit too late now for these guys to get back onto the podium. I think it was definitely the wrong for Tiaz to try and get back onto the podium with this alternate strategy. They have a... No, they don't have a back marker. That is just Ruben up there, silly me. Because now he's not... I suppose it is the bit where you don't really gain much, but he's not gaining much anymore. He's getting like a couple of tenths per corner. It was like multiple tenths before. Tiaz does have DRS as well, but it's not going to be enough. I believe that their tyres might have gone off a bit. Or at least to the point where I don't think they're going to catch up to Remus. I think Remus should be safe here. Who's going to win, in your words? Well, it's going to be Kevin. Unless he gets 2 warnings. Which I very much doubt is going to happen. Because as much as Kevin's a bottler, I don't think he's that big of a bottler. It's going to be an obvious win. And I think that Remus will be the last guy on the podium. So I believe that these guys are now finally starting to lose tyre grip. Oh, Power Tom going wide. What is he doing? Actually, Ruben is now within 2.4 seconds of Remus. I think Remus's tyres are really starting to go off. And I think that is now playing into the medium runner's hands. Power Tom might overtake Kevin for the lead here, but it's not going to make any difference. I mean, he's on non-ERS. I think he realises any different. But Tiaz has now re-overtaken Ruben down the back straight. It's now under 2 seconds. Yeah, I think I was wrong then. I was wrong then. They are going to catch Remus before the end of this race. That gap is going down so quickly. I think we need to go on board with Tiaz, personally, because we're going to see how quickly they catch up. Look at this, 1.4 seconds. 1.3, Remus is truly struggling on those tyres. He's losing so much time to the leaders and to these guys. The question is how many of them will get by, and will we get time for a battle for that last step of the podium? Look, it was 1.6, it was 2 seconds in the middle part of his lap. It's now 9 tenths and he's going to have DRS Tiaz's on Remus after the hairpin, the next hairpin. We have 2 laps to go here in Abu Dhabi, and the fight for this podium is not over. Remus is struggling on worn tyres. Stay Daisy and Tolo have fallen out of the DRS of the guys in front. So the last podium position is between Remus, who I don't think is going to get it, Tiaz and Ruben. You have a championship winner, the new guy who's come in and started beating the championship winner, and Remus, who is an experienced veteran, who's been a very good midfield driver for a very long time. Tiaz with the DRS, Vastus is retired, that shouldn't cause any problems. Tiaz to the outside. Does he get the move on Remus? Done. He does, just about, and Remus is going to try and get a switchback, but on 23 lap order hards, he's not going to get it done. Now Tiaz is up into 3rd place. Ruben's entire chance of the podium, actually no, he's not going to be because of penalties. I was about to say he was going to depend on whether he could get past Remus, but Tiaz has a 3-second time penalty, which means unless he can absolutely pull a massive margin on Tiaz, so unless he can pull an absolute massive margin on Ruben, he's not going to get this, because we're moving on to the last lap very shortly. This might allow Stay Daisy to catch back up to Ruben and get in the DRS of him again, which could ironically handicap his teammate Toro, who wants to get by that Williams. I mean, Remus is still within DRS range of Tiaz. Just about he is, to be fair. I'm not sure what his ERS level is on, because if it's quite low, I don't think he'll be able to get by. But I think Ruben is going. Yeah, he's setting himself for the exit of the corner. Remus is struggling with traction. I believe he's going to get by here. Ruben is wiggling all over the place. I'm not sure exactly the reasons. Is he wanting to get out of the way? I hope not, because Remus is fighting for position here. Remus wiggling again off the exit. So much struggle. Power1 has taken the lead, but it's going to be for nothing in this because we're still battling for these podium positions. Ruben is decided to stay behind because he knows he's going to get third place in the end here, I think. Power1 and Kevin are battling, but it's going to be for naught in the end. Power1 has done an impressive race, went on the right strategy when his other rivals didn't, and he will cross the line in the final race of the final lap of the VDRL season, and he takes the win here in Abu Dhabi, but Kevin will take it off him after penalties. Tiaz will come across the line in third place, but Remus will take it in the end because Ruben didn't get by him. Ruben couldn't overtake him in that last lap. So Remus will take third place here, followed by Ruben, Stay Daisy, Toto, Tiaz falls to 7th. Then it's Nico Son, Serban, and Forward in the final points position. Dincho in that Red Bull could not get a single point, meanwhile his teammate won the race. What a Red Bull surprise. Oh no, he won't actually. Werner takes the point. Werner takes the point, Dincho takes 11th, and Forward takes 12th. So Werner takes the last point awarded in the season. And what a fantastic race to go out on. That was a great race with lots of action and lots of entertainment. Froby will be the last drivers across the line in 14th place. But Kevin is your final winner of Season 8 here in VDRL. Red Bull on top. Maybe not in the constructors. Toto gets driver of the day, coming from last place to a respectable, what, 6th? 5th? I don't even remember at this point now. But we're now going to come on and see the podium celebrations. Kevin hasn't won in a long time, from memory. Unless now, from my luck, he'll have won last time out in Las Vegas. But I'll quickly go and check the standings just to double check that I haven't got that colossally wrong. But the drivers make their way up onto the podium. Where is the standings? Yeah, the last time Kevin won was round 2 in Portugal. And, well, he's won here in Abu Dhabi. It's taken him a while, but he managed to get it. So Kevin is your winner here in Abu Dhabi, followed by Power1, who rocketed up the field, managed to do the right strategy, didn't get caught up in incidents like Emmanuel earlier, and then third place taken by Remus in the end because Ruben couldn't get by him. Ruben took 4th, then 5th was, I can't even remember who was 5th, but it was an interesting top 10, an interesting race, and we should soon be moving into the interview pen. I'm not sure when or how, but we should soon be moving into the place where we can see what the top 3 have to say about that fantastic event and a fantastic way to finish off a great season. So we are here in the interviews pen now. We have Remus is with us, and we're going to wait until the other guys join before I start diving into the questions. Give Remus a bit of a time to prepare himself and recover from what was a very interesting race. Remus's first podium of the season, actually. He got 4th place in Baku and 4th place in Imola, and a 4th place last time out in Las Vegas, but no podiums just yet. But now he's finally on that 3rd step of the podium, and I believe we've got Kevin. We just need to get second place Power Twam, unless he's not going to join. So we'll wait for a little bit longer, just a little bit longer, before we dive into the questions and see what the drivers had to say about that race. Ruben Huertas, our champion, has decided to join the call. I'll wait for the go from Martin before I start, because I'm not sure if we're going without Power Twin just yet. Right, so we are going to start with Remus, the Aston Martin driver, first podium of the season. How was that race from your perspective?
Yeah, I did not practice that much for this race, and I did not expect to be in the front. And I had a good pace, thanks to DRS. And yeah, I have to thank you, Radzik, for not attacking me at the final laps. And yeah, I was lucky with the safety car.
You were lucky with a safety car. I'd say you were more genius with the fact that you decided not to pit under that last virtual safety car, because there was guys like Tias pitted there, and he basically ruined his race trying to then catch back up to you because it came in before I think he was expecting. Were you considering pitting under that safety car, or were you just playing the game?
I was watching Kevin if he was lapping yes or no, and yeah, he stay out and I also stay out.
That is fair enough. So this is your first podium of the season in the last race of the season. Are you looking to carry this motivation and momentum into next season and potentially get a really good seat now?
Yes. I'm very happy for this result. Finally a podium this season, and I can't wait for the next season. So come.
Do you have any quick like rumors of your potential whereabouts next season, or are you going to keep those cards close to your chest?
I know who will be my teammate next season, but it's not time total yet. You will find out.
Okay. Thank you for talking to us. We will not move on to our second place finisher, Powerton, because he's not here. So I think with that, we should move directly onto our winner of the race. His first win in I don't know how many the exact number of races is, but it's since Portugal, which was the second race of the season. So if someone else can do the maths on that. But Kevin, how does it finally feel to be back on the top step of the podium?
Yeah, I'm really happy that I won, but I'm not happy with my pace, because in the quali something felt really weird. I don't know. There was an update for my Fanatec wheelbase, and yesterday everything felt fine, and today I don't know. I had so much. I lost so much feeling in the wheel. I don't know why, but yeah, because Tias did a 21.6 in the quali, and I was also yesterday doing 21.6. So that was frustrating. And then the race, yeah, I'm happy that I won, but I almost lost the win because I didn't have enough ERS. But luckily, Powertron got 3 seconds. So yeah, I was really lucky with that.
Obviously, this is only your second win this season, probably one of your less prolific displays in your VDRL career. Are you looking to take, again, the same question to Rumours, are you looking to take this momentum, this win, into next season and potentially mount a championship challenge that is going to be more successful than it has been in previous years?
Yeah, definitely. I want to take this momentum into next season, and I need to be consistent. I just need to not make mistakes. That's my goal for next season.
Yeah. Regarding your championship challenge next season, obviously you've got the old guard. You've got guys like Ruben, like Toro, who you've battled for seasons and seasons. But we've got a new wave of new drivers coming in. You've got Tias, who's been fantastic. Stay Daisy, who's shown great performances. Emmanuel, who qualified second today. Who is going to be your biggest rival next season, do you think? And who do you think, if it's not you, is going to win the championship?
For sure, Radzik and Toro. They are still, I think, the best. I think Rajic, Toro is very fast, but like me, makes a lot of mistakes. But Rajic is the complete driver. He's fast and also almost doesn't make any mistakes.
Sorry to interrupt. The problem is the practice.
Yeah. But I think Rajic is still the target to beat.
Okay, you think he's still? You don't rate the guys like Tiaz and Emmanuel?
Well, it depends if they are a full-time driver next season, because now they are reserve. So I don't know if they drive next season, the whole season.
And lastly, what was it? Right. Seat rumors for next season. Are you prepared to tell us where you're going to go, or are you going to also keep it close to your chest?
I'm not gonna tell it.
Okay, that is interesting. So hopefully, wherever you are, it will yield you some championship success for the first time in however many seasons it's been since you didn't bottle. But I think that should conclude our coverage, unless anyone wants to add anything, unless Rajic wants his own champions interview so he can glaze himself. I doubt that he does. But without that, I think, without further ado, that will conclude our coverage for Season 8 of VDRL. A fantastic season, an intense season, a great climax, great racing. Even in the final race when there was nothing to fight for, we saw battles up and down the field. And hopefully we'll see more of that next season. Hopefully even more of that on a new game, more chaos, more drama, and more fun, which is what we want at the end of the day. I'm Nedzo, and I'll see you all later.